Jorge escapes prison with the help of his friend. As they drive through the woods, they spot a police car, and Jorge leaves the car after taking some money. Mrsic goes to a club where he meets his friend and waits for a guy who owes him money. He waits until the man goes into a bathroom and beats him up badly. Johan and his group of friends are hanging out, having drinks and dancing away the night. The next morning, his rich friends call him and ask him to join them, but he tells them that he's busy. He goes to class, and after that, he works as a taxi driver. Mrsic learns that Jorge has escaped from prison and that his boss, Radovan, is looking for him. He makes a call and says that he will pay $20,000 to whoever finds Jorge. In the meanwhile, Jorge is back home, where he finds his sister, Paula, and she invites him in to eat. She tells him she's pregnant and gives him food to take before her husband comes home. JW is invited to a weekend get-together by his rich friend. He takes a car and drives there, looking as rich as his friends. He is introduced to a girl named Sofia and learns that she is in an on-and-off relationship with jet-set Carl. At dinner, Carl gives examples of types of people and asks JW which kind he is. JW replies in a way that lightens the vibe. JW is alone in a room when Sophie joins him, and he asks her if she wants to have a walk with him.
Yes, går ut och jaga.
Okay.
As they are sitting in the woods, he tells her that he was lonely as a kid and that he used to read several biographies at the same time for his friends. She tells him that he doesn't strike her as someone who's been alone much, but as someone who sees things. He tells her that he is seeing the most beautiful dawn, and she mentions that it's as if he's experiencing it for the first time, and that she likes it. She asks if she can kiss him, and he says yes. As she leans in to kiss him, someone calls out for her, and she instantly leaves. The next day, his friend Nipe asks JW if he likes Sophie. He gives him advice by saying he should stick to his own kind. As JW leaves the get-together, he makes a call to Abdul Karim and tells him that he needs money. Abdul Karim tells him that he will get him about 20 grand for a ride, and that he will do. Jorge goes to his friend's house to get a gun. JW is outside on the phone with Abdul Karim and telling him about Jorge. Mrsic is following Jorge when he leaves the building. JW is told that he will get paid more if he follows Jorge and brings him home. He follows both Jorge and Mrsic as they get onto a train, but soon Jorge gets into a bus and JW loses him. He waits for the next bus and starts going in the same direction. He goes off when he sees Mrsic car and goes into the woods where Mrsic and another man are beating Jorge. He is very nervous when he sees what's happening. He goes over to the car and starts his alarm, which distracts Mrsic and his guy. Jorge escapes during that time and hides behind a tree. JW brings Jorge to his dorm with Abdul Karim, and he agrees to keep him with him after Abdul Karim offers to pay him 10 grand for each day he keeps him. Abdul Karim and Fadi leave, telling JW to bring him to them after 2 weeks. Once Jorge wakes up, he asks where JW is from. JW tells him that he is the one who helped and that he works for Abdul Karim. Mrsic goes to take his daughter, Lovisa, who used to live with her addict mom. He tries to reason why he couldn't keep Lovisa with him, as he works day and night, but there is no option, so he takes her with him. Jorge meets with Abdul Karim and Fadi after he recovers from his wounds. Abdul Karim tells JW that he knows about his background and his family. He tells him that he is going to work with Jorge's German friends on import and asks if JW would help him with investments and revision. JW thinks for a while and comes up with an idea to buy a bank to help them control the reports of the inspection of finances. He tells them that he knows a small investment bank that is in crisis and suggests that they buy it. He tells them that they can demand a huge amount of shares and that he will get 20% on all profits. Radovan sends his men to Mrsic and asks him to come for a meeting. Mrsic is with Lovisa and he takes her with him. Once he makes it there, Radovan tells them that business is good, but they have to grab a market for cocaine. Mrsic tells him that Jorge imports huge amounts to different countries with the help of his connections and that it will be hard for them to do the same job. He says to stay out of trouble since the cops are waiting to lock them up one by one. Radovan says he doesn't want to work with the Arabs and scolds Mrsic for not getting rid of Jorge as he ordered him long ago. He finally agrees to work with the Arabs and sends someone to talk with them. JW goes to Sophie's boyfriend, Carl's father, to talk to him about his bank. The father asks where JW gets the money from, and he tells him it's from a group of individuals. The man tells him that if they want to succeed, they will be very rich, and that he wants his share.
Nu sitter jag här och pratar med snorvalpar som du.
JW makes himself a deal to get 40% of the company and the man 10% before he leaves the office. JW, Jorge, Abdul Karim, and Fadi reach the drug dealers and they are taken blindfolded to the factory. A man named Carlos gives them a tour of the factory. They make a deal to take 40 kilos, and JW discusses with them about the payment. As they are being transported back after the deal, Jorge thanks JW for how he saved him by starting the car alarm. JW goes to Carl's birthday party, and he thanks him for helping him. JW meets Sophie, and she tells him she's not dating Carl anymore. Soon, JW and Sophie start a relationship. JW tells Jorge that she is his first real relationship as they are sitting on a rooftop. Jorge tells him that he will be going to live with his mom and his sister, who is pregnant. Sophie and JW are at an art museum talking about his family. He lies and says that his mom and dad live in India, where his dad works as a diplomat. He tells her the truth about his sister, Camilla, who disappeared 4 years ago. The police think she's dead and they have stopped looking. Radovan asks his man about Mrsic, and the guy tells him that Mrsic no longer exists. JW is at Abdul Karim's place when a gunshot starts attacking their location. Abdul Karim calms JW, who is freaking out about the situation, and gives him a bag before he takes him outside and gets him to drive off. Lovisa wakes up from her sleep and tells Mrsic that she had a nightmare about her mom.
Jag drömde en mardröm.
He calms her down and takes her outside. As they are walking to his car, Radovan's people start shooting at them. Mrsic gets Lovisa to get into the car just in time, and they drive off. He takes her to a motel and tells her that they will go back to his country where his parents lived when they were alive. He then calls a man named Nanad and tells him what Radovan had did to them. JW is getting ready to meet Sophie's parents when Abdul Karim calls him and tells him that they're waiting for him. They tell them that they're going to Mahmut since he wasn't at the shooting. Once they reach there, JW gets him to open his door and they all barge in. They start beating Mahmut and his family. JW watched the whole thing, unable to move. JW makes it home to meet Sophie's parents. He is acting strange at dinner, and soon he spots blood on his shirt.
Jag behöver en stark man I besättningen. Vad säger du, Johan?
So he goes to the bathroom to clean up and get himself together. He continues to chat with her parents, but Sophie finds him lying about his parents living in Cape Town with his sister. Once they're done with dinner, Sophie asks him if he wants to go to France with her, and he says no. She starts to question him, but he loses it and starts yelling at her. He asks if this is all about the money, and that the money will come soon before he leaves. As JW makes his way into his dorm, he finds Mrsic waiting for him. He tells about people ratting each other out on the business he's doing and offers him a job that will pay him $2 million. And then he can quit. He gives him a number and tells him to dial it, and then they will meet in an hour at a hotel.
Ring där.
Jorge gets a call from Paola, and he goes home rushing. He finds her sitting on the floor, and she tells him that they beat her husband and that he left her.
Paula.
Jorge tells her that he will take care of her and that the baby won't live like they used to live. She stops him and tells him that he's always going to be in trouble and to stay away from her before she kicks him out. JW is sitting in his dorm when Jorge gets in, and JW asks him when he might get his share of the money. Jorge tells him that he has done a good job for them and that he might get paid after a year and a half. Abdul Karim will soon get rid of him once the products are all delivered, and Jorge tells him that he got his share of the money. Soon, they got into a fight. and JW goes to Abdul Karim to ask when he will get his money. Abdul Karim assures him that he will be paid after 6 months. He calls the number Murado gave him, and he meets him at the hotel to tell him about the delivery procedure. He then takes 1 million for the help, and Murado promises he will take care of him. Nanad brings Murado weapons. JW, Abdul Karim, and Jorge are getting ready and briefing on the package they will be receiving. Jorge learns that he's becoming an uncle and goes to see Paola. Jorge leaves his mom in the hospital to go to the delivery place. He tells JW that he can't fail this and that he will send gifts to Paola and her kid once this is over. JW is uneasy since he's already gotten paid by Murado. Abdul Karim and his guys checked the delivery and were satisfied. Meanwhile, Radovan calls the police and informs them about the delivery. Murado and Nanad show up with guns and shoot Fadi and Abdul Karim. As they are about to shoot Jorge, JW stops them. The police arrive right on cue, and JW escapes with Jorge in a car, where JW starts crying, saying they'll die. Murado leaves Nanad and escapes, but gets hit by a car. JW sees that Jorge is unconscious and leaves the car to shoot at Murado. Jorge calls out JW to get in the car as the police are coming. JW closes the door and tells him to drive off before he starts shooting at the police. After he gets caught, an ambulance comes and takes Murado, who calls Lovisa and talks to her. Jorge leaves the car in the woods and disappears. Sophie goes to prison to see JW and tells him that she's leaving for France and asks if he has any feelings for her, but he keeps quiet.
Jag tänker på dig hela tiden.
Before she leaves, she tells him that Jorge called her and he wanted her to tell JW that everything has worked out for him and his sister. JW tells her to tell Jorge he said hi and to mention him by the mathematician. Don't forget to like this video and subscribe to our channel. Thanks for watching.